You're getting off track with Justin and Josh.
Let's go. I know you're gonna dig this.
All right, and after a long break, we're back.
Yeah, we are.
Probably like the longest break in history. What was that?
I think it was our last one was after Thanksgiving.
It was. I was going to say, it hadn't been a year since we've been gone, but it's been almost a year since we started this. It might be a year. I know it was in August, so.
Yeah, but it hasn't been a year since we've been gone, but it's getting close to
We're not that lazy. We hadn't given it a year yet. But, yeah, we just had a lot going on, and, the podcasts are done in our spare time, so it's a little bit more work in addition to the fact that Josh here works multiple jobs.
And I got married.
And he got married. Congratulations, Josh. Since the podcast ended last time, you've now tied the knot.
Yeah. What day will be the 25th?
As in, like, weekday? Like
Monday will be 7 months.
7 months of marriage. Yes, Josh is married.
I had to think about what day it was because I got the date wrong last month. I thought it was going to be cool until I was like, hey, happy 6 months of my wife. And I put it on Facebook, but I put it on Facebook on the wrong day.
I know that, it was so random, too, because I was working with my dad, on the week, just helping him out doing some stuff. And I got a text message. Josh like, I'm getting married. I was like, when? Tomorrow.
Literally, that's the way it was, too.
It's like, as in the day after today, tomorrow, right?
There was no pregnancy involved.
No.
Just throw that out there.
I bet you got to ask that a lot.
I had to put out a disclaimer. I was like, no one is pregnant.
We are not getting married because of Beth's pregnancy.
No.
Which I said Beth's pregnancy. There is no pregnancy.
No.
There's still
no pregnancy.
Not that we know of.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
So how is the married life?
It's good. Really good. Mm-hmm. I'm like Johnny Cash. I'm walking the line.
Marriage. Our little boy's grown up.
Mom.
But I'll tell you something funny. Speaking of podcasts, a lot of these are on Spreaker, but we put one on YouTube. We put one on YouTube, and it got a couple thousand views. And I think it's funny because, and this is a little secret, I'm going to just tell you, that is no secret, but it works. Okay. All YouTube stars do this, and, they start off getting hate, but they eventually gain a following. You put a title that does go with what you're talking about, but it's, a title that grabs attention.
Right.
It don't necessarily have to be misleading. And like ours was titled, what was it? It was like
Real Life Dragon.
Real Life Dragon, ? Which, if you remember, you had read from the classified that some dude was calling for the extermination of a blue dragon,
right,
but did not mind the red dragon that frequented the area. And so that's what we put the title as. And it had a lot of views, and it got, quite a few likes. But we had so many people going, where's the dragon? I tuned in for a dragon. So if you ever have listened to one of ours and the title misled you that bad, I apologize. I mean, we even put comedy podcast beside the title to allow, but
you would, maybe if we put news beside of it, you would be like, all right, where's the dragon at? Because I thought this was going to be newsworthy, but it says comedy beside of it. So.
Exactly. Like if I was to put breaking.
Get a hint.
Breaking. Live dragon found. And I'll tell you what, we've been gone so long that when I checked the Getting Off Track email yesterday, we have multiple emails from Spreaker saying, hey, log into your account or we're going to delete it in 40 days, 30 days. Like they were counting down ready to delete ours.
5, 4.
They were like, log in.
We're about to hit the button right now if you don't log in the next 3 seconds.
So thank goodness we've logged in and we're keeping that, which these are going to YouTube for easier listening and to reach broader audiences, of course. But now, Josh, you were telling me before we came in that your fist is hurting from...
Yeah, we were talking about earlier. I have a little band that plays music, not professionally. I'm not trying to make a living out of this, just for fun. And we played down in North Carolina, this barbecue place last night, and the owner gave us free food. He was like, take whatever you want, eat as much as you want, I don't care. And I was like, don't tell me that in a barbecue place because I will eat the whole pig. And he's like, no, I'm for real. Get whatever you want, I don't care. He's like, you can have the whole pig. So I said, can I just have a rack of ribs to take, like a half a rack of ribs to take home and I'll eat them this weekend sometime or another? And he's like, yeah, take a whole rack. And I'm like, sweet. So he puts them in a styrofoam box. So as I come in last night, I'm carrying my guitar case and the rack of ribs in the styrofoam box in the other hand. And I'm trying to be quiet and come in the door because it's late. It's like 11:30. So as I get the front door open, the styrofoam box breaks in half from the weight of these ribs. And they fall. And as I'm trying to hurry up and grab them in like my ninja reflexes. I pushed the door open really quick too. At the same time, I dropped the guitar case and pushed the door open. This is all in like 1 split second. Well, the door flies, like hits the wall and flies back at like a very rapid pace. So once again, ninja reflexes again. I tried to stop the door, but by stopping, I straight falcon punched it on the doorknob, and it like.
You need to reconfigure your ninja skills because they're targeting unsuspecting, undeserving inanimate
if
objects.
You could
rather
see,
than
like,
bad
I wish
guys.
I could have like a slow motion of what happened because it was like literally 10 different actions happening in like 0.3 seconds.
Well, now your fist hurts. Mm-hmm. Let that be a lesson, folks. And for those wondering, because I'm sure some people are like, well, did you say what kind of music you guys play?
Bluegrass.
Don't
be hating.
I wish I need to like cross my eye, sound like the dude off of Oh Brother Where Art Thou, mighty fine.
Ooh-wee, pay you $10 piece. Mighty fine picking and grinning there, boys.
Oh man, and now Josh, I know that some folks, I definitely thought when we like ceased the podcast last time, we'd be getting emails saying thank you.
Yeah.
Probably plaques saying thank you
Glad
for
you're
ending
gone.
this. But we actually got a lot of messages asking when we were bringing it back. And one thing, Josh, a lot of people miss is they're missing Ward. Can you channel him for a second just to say hello to his fans? It's been many, many months.
Hi, fans. This is Ward Burton, your favorite driver from South Boston, Virginia. Come on out and see me every week in South Boston. I'll be down there hanging out, drinking beers, telling stories about shooting bears, other wildlife. So come on out and see me. Go Jeb.
I was going to say, I see, Jeb's slowly working his way up there and doing his thing, so I'm sure that you are a mighty proud father.
Oh, yeah. Jeb's doing good. He's making the old man proud.
Hey, we're proud of him. Proud to have someone from South Boston doing big things. And for those that don't know, obviously, I think it should go without saying, but we like Ward Burton. So,
yes,
God,
very
don't
much.
take that saying, oh, they're making fun of you. We're not. We like Ward. Josh just does a spot-on Ward Burton.
I have the highest of level of respect for Ward Burton. Like, I wasn't saying he was my favorite driver, but I always would, like, if my guy wasn't in the possible chance to lead or do
defaulted
good,
back to Ward
I'm like,
Burton.
come on, Ward, let's go. You're kind of a local guy. Let's go.
Right, and if your guy didn't win, you were glad to see Ward doing good because that's a local guy. And my Ward Burton's gotten a lot better since we first did it. I think I might wait a podcast or two to do it. But
you've improved.
My Ward Burton's gotten a whole lot better.
But don't anyone think that we are like making fun of him. Like, as a matter of fact, I've told you before, I would love to meet Ward Burton, and not in a way like I don't want to make fun of him to his face. I just want to meet him. I think he's a cool guy.
What's bad is we saw him in the pits last time, but we didn't get a chance to stop and go back.
I know.
We'll go back if we see him this year. I'm sure Jeb and them will be up there. We'll make sure we stop. I know. My dad was like, "Shoot, you probably should show it to him." Because my dad coached Ward's daughter for many years in softball, so they got to know each other. He said,
I still think of every time I think about Ward Burton, I think about. Do you remember Joey Coulter, the driver that we was talking to? He was telling us a Ward Burton story about how he kept dropping the F-bomb to him. I was like, I wouldn't have been able to hold a straight face.
No. Too bad that we try to keep it clean here on the program because that would be hilarious to. Give me, what we need to
reenact.
do. You know what we need to do. We need to do, and we'll work on this, and we'll just we'll do it after this, and we'll edit it and try to have it on the next podcast too. We need to do an angry Ward Burton. It doesn't have to necessarily be a skit. I just am going to give you a scenario, and I want you to be enraged and drop F-bombs. We'll bleep them, but just go nuts as you feel Ward would.
There used to be a few YouTube clips of like him going like completely berserk on like drivers, like the interviews. We'll have to look them up so I can get some inspiration.
Some inspiration from the man himself, the man and the legend. But always big Ward Burton fans. So just wanted to clear that out.
Yeah, we're not making fun of him.
This is good fun, which I think he's got a very good sense of humor. I think I used to hear him on John Boy and Billy on there.
Yeah, Lord knows they ragged him more than we have.
We just really like his voice.
Yeah, we do.
But all right, so let's see what's happening. I mean, it's a lot that's went down since the last time we podcasted. What do you got? As of lately, you've got the I'm trying to think of a word that I can't be get in trouble for. The level of idiocracy running through Missouri right now.
Yeah, I didn't know whether you sports.
Well,
I didn't know where you was going from that.
It's just such a sensitive world. I'm scared of what word to say to describe just dumb activity that'll get me in trouble. But And we you know, of course, now in this new podcasting, we may talk about some serious issues. We might not go super. We're not going to shove politics down your throat and stuff.
Or religion or anything like that.
But I mean, we decided that we try to make you laugh some, but I mean, at the same time, we're just talking. So, but I mean, like the ignorance in Missouri, as far as and what I mean by that is, I saw an interview with a guy where he's standing in front of a gas station or store that they've burnt down, talking about when the government does this to the people, this is what happens to the government. I want to tell him that I hate to tell you, but I bet that store owner hated the government as much as you did. The government didn't own that store, and you did not hurt the government by burning down that store. You hurt a business owner who probably wouldn't necessarily want to tear the town down, but probably shares your anger themselves with the government as hard as it is to be a business owner in this day and time.
Right. And let's say, for example, if they're not a chain gas station, let's say they're like a mom and pop independent gas station, you just probably ruin their livelihood.
Right. Exactly. For something that they did not do. And it's like I've said, I won't speak on the whole if Michael Brown was innocent or guilty or what, because number one, I wasn't there.
Right.
I didn't see it. And there's tons of he said, she said things going around. But I will say that when you want, they keep demanding justice by committing crimes. I don't think that they understand that justice would be going through the judicial system, using evidence, testimony, video, to get actual justice, not burn down the town and then be like, oh, where are we going to live now?
Yeah.
That's justice right there. But, like I said, and it's just like with any other shooting case, regardless of the color of the person's skin, I hope that whatever is justice is reached by them. Regardless of if it's innocence or guilt or whatever. I mean, I hope they reach it in a judicial way.
Right, because you're right. That place is just like I don't know.
It's like, I mean, and I'm not insulting anybody from, right, and I'm not insulting people from Missouri necessarily, at all. I'm just the people that are out there rioting.
We know a lot of people the majority of the people that are out there aren't even from Missouri at all.
I know, I've seen that. They've migrated.
But now, because we're not talking about just one side of this, it's a whole lot of idiocracy going on. Because now you have the other side, the Klan.
We saw, we can go ahead and say that because we're in no way backing them. The KKK is now joining the fight against. And
it's like what you're doing is just as dumb as what they're doing. You are both ignorant morons.
That's like saying, hey, that house is on fire. Let's put it out with gasoline.
Yeah, let's dump some more gas on it.
That's the stupidest thing, because now you have angry people that are already mad at obviously thinking that the police, and on top of that they've been wronged in a racial way, and now you're going to bring in a group that is blatantly racist. It's just going to make them matter.
Yeah.
It's to the KKK, you have the right to practice, and we can't tell you that you have to disband, but please go play somewhere else.
Right. If I was, let's just say, for example, if I was in like the Klan, I was like, man, I hope he gets what he deserves. That, I hope the cop gets off, yada, 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 and he don't have nothing happen to him. I would try to figure out the way that I could help that best happen. Going out there and making a scene is not the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just all around
That would be like
stupidity.
me saying, I have a cut on my leg. I need to sew this up. Should I take needle and thread and sew this, or should I take a chainsaw and get the hacking on it and hopefully it heals itself?
Well, I mean, it's the biggest problem with that area is everyone's acting off of emotion.
Right.
And that is, I mean, and that's in our genes to do. We can't help that as human beings and part of the animal kingdom to act off of emotion. But at the same time, we've got to realize that that's what separates us from the animal kingdom, our ability to go, okay, I'm highly pissed off, but let me just think what the best course of action here would be. And that's the biggest problem, is that it's so many people that are just angry and they're acting with their anger. And it's like, I could understand anger in this situation, but it's
right. But
you
then
need to stop and think.
I think one of the big problems is too, you have people on both sides of it they're just basically, instead of calming them down and letting them know, hey, you're acting on pure emotions and reactions instead of, just take a chill pill. They're feeding the fire, and they
really are.
They poke the fire, feed the flames, and build it up, and build it up, and build it up, and build it up, and build it up.
Exactly.
And then kind of sit back and watch it burn.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. And I mean, like I said, it's a big problem in any of these situations. One of the biggest perpetrators, in my opinion, that really gets this stirred up is the media. Because the thing is, people don't realize in the media's, and I mean, it's their job, and I'm not saying all media is unreliable. I'm not insulting anybody, so don't take it that way. But what I'm saying is lots of media sources see this and love the opportunity to be the first to report on something that's going to spark controversy because they're trying to get views. They're trying to get a rise out of people. They're trying to get things going because that gives them more credibility, yada, yada, yada. So what they'll do is they'll give you facts that are kind of facts, but they leave out what they feel.
Right.
And on both sides now, I'm not saying that on the cop or Mike Brown's side. On both sides, they'll leave out things to make. I mean, for instance, I'll say they said he had marijuana in his system. Right, but marijuana can stay in your system for up to about 40 days.
Right.
They don't, and at the same time, on his side, they'll tell you that, they'll tell you one good thing about Mike Brown, but leave out a couple of bad things leading up to that event that you didn't know. So you don't really have anyone bringing you just a complete, honest source. Like, okay, here's what happened. Here's what we're being.
There's no way for the general public to be able to just look at a fact sheet. Mm-mm. There's no fact sheet on it that you can just look at and say, okay, this is true, this is not. You're just being fed little pieces here and there, and that's what's causing a lot of the straight emotion reaction responses.
Right, and I mean, and I'll take back what I said. Not all media sources do that, but I'm sure that there are media sources trying to be as true to the source information as they can, but they're outshadowed by, and I mean, it's on every side, and this isn't even a liberal, conservative thing. I mean, it's all news sources, and that's their job.
Right.
But okay, so so that's been going on. Let's see what has happened.
Ooh, breaking news!
What?
Taylor Swift is releasing a completely pop album.
Josh is so excited, but not for the reason you would think.
Correct.
Josh is excited because he wants to own it.
Yeah. Hey, I thought about this last night, and I thought about our conversation yesterday. I have from day one said that Taylor Swift music I do not like it. Nothing about it. It's not appealing to me. I have bashed on it for the beginning of time since she started doing it because I didn't think it was country music.
Right.
I am totally fine.
And I was going to say, for those that are not aware, Josh is a humongous. I mean, Josh's lifeline is country music, bluegrass, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And now you see why.
Let me be
really
on record
like
by saying I am completely fine with her doing this album. Go right ahead. More power to you, Taylor Swift, because it's labeled what it is. It's pop.
Josh is super excited that she is no longer calling herself his brand of music. And also, just admit, you really want to dance around your house when that's not home to some Taylor Swift. Shake them off. Shake it off.
Why you gotta be so mean?
But I also said, we talked about this yesterday, people hating on her for making her music is just plainly stupid.
Oh, yeah. It's like, if you don't like them, well, the thing that bothers me is just like, it's one thing. There's plenty of artists. I'm like, man, their music sucks. I mean, I can give you a list of people that a lot of people like that I think sucks, but in no way, shape, or form do I... Like, she gets death threats online and all of that, and it's like, that is completely unnecessary for crappy music.
There's people that play music that I think is absolutely, like, ear-wrenching, but I don't even want to punch them.
It's like, so I saw one person was like, I'd love to find her and give her a good backhand. How about you find her and give her a good guitar lesson since you think her music sucks so bad?
I don't understand why they listen to it. I mean, here's a technology thing that we've yet to figure out how to use. It's called the off button. You don't want to listen to it, turn it off or skip the song.
Right. When the ingenious inventors of the radio and MP3 player and CD player, they knew that we don't want to stay in one place. So they invented buttons that allow us to go to different channels, change to different songs, change to different artists. Just use those. I guess
it's kind of like when you smell something horrible, but yet you go back and sniff it like 10 more times just to make sure it was horrible. Like, man, I hate this song, but I'm going to keep listening to it for the next 4 minutes just to be sure.
I hate this song, but you know what? Let me put that sucker on repeat just to make sure. And it's like every time it restarts, you're like, God, I hate it.
But, it's what, like, you saw, like, the death threats and, like, the violence towards her because of her music. But I saw, like, the backlash of, like, people like, she's such a whore now. Look at her dancing like that in the little skimpy clothes. And I made a little soapbox rant on your Facebook page about it because you posted an article about it. And I said, the same ones that are ranting about this and going berserk are the same ones who enter their little 7 or 8 year old daughters in the cheerleading practice, or like in the middle school, your 6th grade daughters in cheerleading out there dropping, popping, and locking it in the middle of the football field in an outfit skimpier than what she's wearing in that video.
Well, to those people that say that, I would say clearly you've never heard of Miley Cyrus, you've never heard of Madonna, you've never heard of all of these artists that do things far more provocative and perverted than that. I saw that video. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I watched the video. I really didn't see anything wrong with it.
I've seen 10 times worse in middle school football games or middle school dances. It's like, get off of it.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, did you know she's 5'11"?
No.
Jeez, man. I mean, I'm 5'11". Well, you're the same height as I am, about 5'11" and a half. I mean, Man, I mean, that is a tall girl. She, she had pictures with one of my friends, Blake. He had pictures with her, which Blake was a rather short fella. But she towered over him in the picture, or at least had a good couple inches on him. And I remember saying, man, she looks tall. And then I would tease him and say, but you look short. So she really is a very, very tall lady.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, now is the point of the program with Josh and I. What we're going to do is the new format for the podcast is going to be more or less, it's going to be Josh and I just kind of talking like we are. But when we think of funny skits, we'll do them. But we are not, we're both working, and this is an unpaid program as of right now. We're not getting paid for it. So we really don't have the time to sit down and map out every week.
Unless you want to send some of your hard-earned money.
Right. Hey, and then we'll hook you up with a skit. We'll even put you in it.
I'll say your name.
But it's like, so we're going to restructure it to be 30 minutes. So we've got roughly 8 or 9 minutes left of the program now. And we're not going to have necessarily scheduled things, but we will be interjecting fun things, as we think of them. And for this week, for old time's sake, and we might do these each week, we don't know, but for old time's sake, we are going to play our favorite old game without the introduction this time. Would you rather?
There you go.
And this time, I've got an entire list, and what's bad is that we have played this game so much that I can't remember which ones we have and have not answered. So we may unknowingly revisit an old question, but this one right here is very interesting, and I think it's a fun one to start off with. Josh, would you rather change gender every time you sneeze, or not be able to tell the difference between a muffin and a baby?
Muffin and a baby. All day long.
You would rather be at risk of munching down on a poor innocent baby?
Well, I don't like muffins anyway, so.
Well, then you lucky bastard. You are right. You are in the perfect mindset because I happen.
But you would look really creepy in a bakery going, oh, look at that cute little baby. And everybody playing with the muffins.
Look at his blueberries. It's like, I love blueberry muffins. So I think I'd have to pick, no, you know what? I like being a guy, so I guess I'm going to go with you on that, but not for the same reason. I love muffins. I guess I would just have to train myself to basically be like, all right, you can't ever eat muffins again, which I can live with.
I can deal with that.
While I love muffins, I can find a bajillion other things to replace them with. So, okay, so we both agree. We would just rather not to be able to tell the difference between a muffin and a baby. But no, wait a minute. Things to consider. Are you ever planning on having children? Because if you are, that could be a pretty bad scenario. I could see some bad things arising from that if you plan to have children. I guess if I had to pick between the two, I'd pick to be a guy and never have kids. Would have to be my solution. My parents would hate that because they really want grandkids, but
yeah, see, I don't like muffins, so I wouldn't have to worry about it. I hate muffins.
But you would be like, you might be somewhere. No, I just could. Yeah, I guess there'd be no muffins in your household. So I could just see like your baby being stuck in the microwave. Not your microwave, sorry. Your baby being stuck in the refrigerator to like present. And yeah, so. All right, just keep muffins.
Man, your mind is working in some creepy ways.
I'm telling you.
Babies in microwaves?
No, do not put babies in microwaves. Do not. Just don't confuse them with muffins. Because I heat up. The reason I thought microwaves is because I like hot muffins. Like, right. I heat up muffins. And then at the same time, sometimes you put them in the fridge to preserve them longer. But I like to heat up muffins, especially the blueberry and chocolate chip ones. I'm hungry tonight. Okay. So, I'm not asking that one. I'm going to say what the question is, but we're not going to answer this. The would you rather question is, would you rather watch your parents make whoopee every day of your life or have to join in once to stop it? We're not going to discuss that.
No.
For those sick bastards out there that want a good would you rather question, there's a good one to probe the depths of your mind, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, you can answer that on your own.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see how much your opinions changed. I remember this question, and I remember my arguments. I want to see if you still stick to what you said, if you can remember what you said. Would you rather be the best racquetball player in the world or find $65 on the street?
$65.
Oh, you haven't changed your opinion at all. That was what you said last time.
All day long.
Myself and my buddy Joey were very big on the fact that if you were a professional racquetball player, regardless of if there's a big market for it or not, you're bound to make more than $65 in your career, even if you wanted to bet people. Because I know, lots of people like to play racquetball still. So you could say, hey, I bet you $100 I could beat you. But you were dead set on $65.
Because I've never seen anybody play racquetball outside of like when I was in the Air Force at the gym there.
The YMCA is a big place that you see a lot of racquetball.
I don't go to the YMCA. So I don't know anybody that plays racquetball. So I don't know anybody I could bet to win my money back. So I just take my $65 and go on my way.
I see your logic, but I look past it.
It might take me 65 years in racquetball to make my $65 back.
Oh boy, yeah, we'll do one or two more of these, and then this one not quite so controversial. Would you rather be able to run at 100 miles an hour or fly at 10 miles an hour?
Fly at 10.
That's what I was thinking, because
That's awesome.
I mean, 10 miles an hour is slow, but I mean, still, you get to fly.
Yeah, because I can see the Army like, well, if you could run 100 miles an hour, you can get away from people. You can fly.
Well, here's the fact, too. I was actually reading this article about why, and of course, they're comic book superheroes. Of course, they're not really logically possible, but it was given reasons why. And the Flash, for instance, which I know he can go like the speed of way more than 100 miles an hour, but even still, your body would not adjust to, I mean, if you were running at 100 miles an hour, you can drive at 100 miles an hour, and if you're trained in it, I'm sure you can do it on the regular. But at the same time, I mean, there's a lot bigger of a chance of you running into something or hurting yourself because you're not used to running 100 miles an hour. Your body doesn't adjust to it. You're not going to see things. Your speed's going to be, your vision's going to stay as it is. So you're running that much faster. Your vision's not going to keep up.
That's right.
And I mean, like I said, I know the argument could be, well, people drive 100 miles an hour, right? But
you're still sitting still.
Yeah, it's
the car's going 100.
The car's going 100 miles an hour, and but your body's doing the work. And on top of that, too, people don't do that every day.
Yeah.
And a lot of accidents happen at 100 miles an hour.
Someone had posed this question to me a while back, and I forgot where, and they were like, but you could run away from, you could like get away from people all the time, like, so if a fight broke out, you could run away. I was like, you can fly.
Right.
You can fly.
You can get away from anything just about, unless
I don't care if
unless
you
you're
can
getting
fly
attacked by an airplane, you're pretty good to go.
I don't care if you can fly at 2 miles an hour. You can fly. No, they can't.
Right, and another thing to think about, because I'm sure all of my arguments against the 100 miles an hour could be busted, but at the same time, here's another thing to think. Your body isn't built, I mean, okay, point in case, if you wreck doing 100 miles an hour, you get effed up pretty bad. Right. Okay, if you were to trip, fall, stumble, lose your footing, I cannot count how many times I've run at my slow 1.5 miles an hour and tripped up and fell over, I have no idea what. You do that at 100 miles an hour, you're going to screw yourself up. Like your body,
yeah.
And I'm sure someone could say, well, if you fly and you fall, you're going to, right. But I just really, in my mind, feel like I have a better chance of not falling if I have the ability to fly than I do tripping up over something, considering there are millions of things you could trip up all across the ground, when you fly, you could hit a bird, but I mean, that's a big sky. I mean,
but you're only going 10 miles an hour, too.
Exactly. So you probably have plenty of time to avoid anything.
And if you could fly at 10 miles an hour, you know what you can make a fortune doing?
What's that?
Going around the people's houses and taking those aerial photos of their house.
Oh, yeah. Like if somebody wants their land survey.
Now you wouldn't have to rent a helicopter and pay hundreds of dollars. You just give me $20, I'll go up there and take a photo of your house.
That is a genius idea. And like I said, if somebody wants their land surveyed or something like that, search parties, if someone's gone missing, you can zip onto the top and be the eye in the sky. They don't have to pay that helicopter driver.
That's right.
So now you're putting people out of work. But still, it's a cool ability.
It's enough room in the search party business for everybody.
There you go. Helicopter and flying man. Well, I guess that's about the last Would You Rather question. This right here said that it was the 15 toughest Would You Rather questions of all time. And minus that very nasty last one that we said we're not going to.
Is that a question about IKEA or is that an ad?
It's an ad.
Oh, I was like, what is that? Would you rather shop at IKEA or not? Like, how hard is that?
Cool fact. IKEA was designed like a maze on purpose?
No, I did not.
In order to keep people in there longer, so that there's an increased chance that you will buy something.
Maybe keep you so you go around and see everything.
Well, right. Well, that's exactly same thing. Basically, you stay in there longer, so the chances of you buying something are increased because you walk around everything. But yeah. So that's the Would You Rather for today. Not really too difficult questions on that. I know we didn't do the. That is something now. Even if we don't do Would You Rather every week, the one thing I do think we should do, and I mean, this won't be anything, is the facts.
The fun facts?
We didn't do the fun facts this time. We will do that next time because that was simple to do. I mean,
Here's a fun fact for you.
Go for it.
Today is Hootie Hoo Day. Hootie Hoo!
Is it really?
Yeah. I saw that on the calendar this morning.
Hootie Hoo Day. What is Hootie Hoo exactly?
I don't even know. It just said it on the calendar. It's Hootie Hoo Day.
Well, happy Hootie Hoo Day to everyone out there. And that's going to wrap it up for us. Josh's fingers in the air. What's up?
I just had a short little funny story about Hootie Hoo.
Go with your short story.
It made me think about when I saw it on the calendar. I used to work at this restaurant, and there was this lady there who was always carrying on a bunch of junk, and she would tell these crazy stories. So she told the other waitress, she said, if you get behind on your orders, need some help, just go Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo, and I'll know that means you need some help, and I'll come over and help you. So this other lady was like, okay, and for some reason believes her and goes along with this. So she ends up getting swamped. She's like, Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo. And this other lady is, she carries on so much junk that she's totally forgotten that she told her about the Hootie Hoo. So she's going on her way, doing, working along. The other one's going, Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo. And everyone's looking at her like, the hell are you doing?
What is wrong with this lady?
And instead of just going, hey, I need some help, she just kept going, Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo, Hootie Hoo.
I believe I'd have had to throw like a muffin at her.
Or would it be a baby?
Ah. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. We thank you so much for listening to our first podcast back. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Of course, keep in mind that we have been now many months without doing this, and this is not the format of our FM stations we work for. So it's taken us a little bit to get back into it, but I've enjoyed it. Josh looks like he's enjoyed it.
I have.
And we look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Justin.
I'm Josh.
Take it easy.